We're back. That's a wrong song. Is that
eating my coffee.
Is that Johnny Carson? Or?
Would you like me to do?
Okay, so
Pig.
so
You gotta watch Pig.
so
That movie
I
is
do.
sick.
I do.
Patty, are you gonna do?
I'm doing Best Directors.
Okay.
So it's Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, Kenneth Branagh for Belfast.
And
Got-
Ryosuke Hamaguchi.
Was it that easy? It's a big long name. Ryosuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car. Steven Spielberg for West Side Story, and Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. Well, hated West Side Story. Thought it was, and Steven Spielberg, I thought it'd be better. Drive My Car, 3 hours of my life wasted. And to this day, I cannot tell you what it's about. Belfast, he got the look right. I gotta say that for him. But I'm going with Jane Campion, Power of the Dog.
Okay.
I think that is sort of the no-brainer. You know, it's so funny because, again, I didn't like Licorice Pizza. You know, I was sort of disappointed with it. But I cannot deny that he really did capture the time period, the 70s. What I didn't like is the way he mishmashed the 70s. It's supposed to, it's according to the synopsis, it says it takes place in 73.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking...
Okay.
No, because then all of a sudden you're hearing Stumbling In, you know, and Susie Quatro song, and it's like, no, that's 78. And they're going through the this and that, and it's like, so I was confused. But the presentation of the story I thought was fine of how, I mean, the look, I think he had the look of that 70s down. That was no problem, which apparently he likes doing. Like even when he did the, was it Boogie Nights, the porno industry? He got that period seemingly right, except again for the music soundtrack.
He was the child of two of my good friends.
Oh, okay.
And Boogie Nights was his first movie, and I remember
First major one, yeah.
Yeah, but he was in that time period. He was like just out of it because he was a young kid. He was like a teenager when I knew him, and
During the 70s?
No.
Or 60s?
it was like he missed that time period. He was like, I think he was.
That would have been his parents' time period.
Yeah, it was more Ernie and Bonnie, but they were even older.
Okay.
So, but you're right. He got the look down.
and he obviously has a thing for nostalgia. But like I said, I thought it is well directed. So I can't take that away from him. I just didn't sort of like the movie altogether. Spielberg, I think, again, is Spielberg. He really is cinematic. He opened up West Side Story because while the original, which I still preferred,
Me too.
he opened it up to the streets though. So it was like really opened up. It wasn't just taking place on a soundstage, which when you watch the original West Story, it's in a city. It's in New York City, or this part of New York City.
And this is most based on the actual Broadway play musical than the film.
The theater
Seemingly,
one. The first
seemingly,
one.
because they did. Don't forget, they also changed some stuff in that movie, which I didn't care for.
No, not the movie. The
I thought the
theater.
opening act was
It was,
horrible.
it was a Broadway production first.
Oh yeah,
It's
no.
based on
They made it
the
a
Broadway
movie.
production,
Right.
not the movie.
But that's what he's saying. But it's not, because I'm sorry. When they changed the Doc character to be played by Rita Moreno, who plays his wife, that's completely different. I mean, they changed things for whatever reason. And see, that's why it's like, they're not basing it on that. Though they do use some of the cruder terms that were taken out of the original, like the womb to tomb, like basically cradle to the grave, that stuff like that.
I thought the opening scene was terrible, and I really expected a lot. From
See, I
Steven
didn't.
Spielberg.
I didn't find that terrible. What I did find is like, but we sort of seen this because they're using even the original choreography. And
It's almost
stuff
like an
that.
exact copy of the original.
Seemingly, and that's what sort of disappointed me. Like, my problem with the whole movie is like, I don't know why he remade it because the original is
So
such a
good. I don't
But
think
it
it's
is the
hard.
music. That music is incredible. So I give it to Leonard Bernstein
Yes,
and
yes.
Stephen Sondheim.
He wins an Oscar.
Those guys, that was one of the, in fact, I would say with the exception of Singing in the Rain, two of the greatest musicals, period, and filmed them. Just two great films. Take out the musical part.
King and I. Sorry, King and I.
Okay. Kenneth Branagh, same thing. I was talking earlier about how this is Belfast is based on his childhood. He really brings it to life. I compared it to Hope and Glory, where you're really seeing it through a child's eye of what they're going through. And so there is humor, but there is very serious drama because of the problems going on. and I'm not familiar with this. I think was
IRA. It was the IRA.
Well, no, but the incident, like the riot, what they call it, the Ulster riot or something like that in Belfast. I don't know, but I wasn't familiar with that conflict that the Protestants were going and basically
that was a
picking
big
up
deal.
on the Catholics.
Yeah.
So that was sort of interesting, but it really was everything through the young boy's eyes. In fact, you see the delight of him playing. You see him caught in the middle of things. You see him having to express just with his face. And Kenneth Branagh, like I said, he did a great job casting this Jude Hill, because there's a sequence in which he's got to go find his father at the pub because an incident has happened, and just the look on his face, very, it was excellent. So, and even technically, I thought they did a great job of showing the editing and the way they filmed it of being in a riot. And because it's not just one riot, there are several incidences that are getting really out of hand there. And it almost shows you the fear that, yes, you have to get out of this environment. You know? The Ryosuke Hamaguchi, same thing. As you might find it boring, but boy,
I didn't find it boring at all.
No,
it is a true Zen movie,
Is that
because
what it was about? I don't know what it's about.
well, no, it's just the fact you just have to watch it and let it sort of
I could
take
not watch
in.
it again.
Because it's so cinematic. I mean, all the long shots they do, it was just such a unique film and a unique presentation. My problem is, I think, like you, Patty, it's like, too many rehearsals, too many. In fact, that was my problem with most of it. It's like, this has too much of this. This has too much of that. But even I was annoyed at Coda at one point. It's like, okay, too much singing. Get really singing, which is a big integral part of the movie. But this, I had to say, it was the rehearsals, yet it is the rehearsals that you have to pay attention to, because it's the words being used that is truly reflecting in this movie. So the adaptation of the screenplay, that from a novel, is like, wow, they're really trying to keep close, I think, to how you want to present this material, because it's such it really is an odd watch. Yet I found the actors fascinating, which is why I point out basically the main character and his driver are excellent in this movie, because they are the ones who are least responsive. They have like nothing on their face, but they constantly have to keep confessing these little moments of drama that's like, oh no, really? And then they keep revealing to themselves. So by the end of the movie, you realize you really know the characters, yet they've given really you nothing except for these little subtle points. So I have to admit, that's good, but I'm giving it to Jane Campion, because when I watched Power of the Dog, I thought cinematically it was beautiful to watch. Performances, almost all the main characters were excellent, and yet oddly put together, because even I was sort of confused at the ending. I don't know if you remember, we talked about that. I said, so do you think this is what happened? It's like, oh yes. And so I said, that is so subtle. The drama in the movie, and I think that's what it is. Like most Jane Campion movies, everything is so subtle in her movies, yet always like every scene seems to be like a portrait, beautiful
that's a good way of putting
looking.
it.
And the performances are sort of haunting to you. I mean, they, like you said about Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, the Cody McPhee, their performance in that is really something. It's like you don't forget that easily, and it always is odd, because he is such a good actor. Yeah. And most people will know him as Doctor Strange, and I get that.
And he's good.
He's also Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes is how, I think most of the world had been introduced to him, but I just thought...
He's also the dragon from...
you're right, Smog. He plays Smog in The Hobbit.
Also the one where he played the code breaker, where he was
that
just...
That's good.
Well, that's the one based on a true story.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He
He
But
played
he was-
Alan Turing in it.
He was unbelievable in that.
But see, I knew him as a comic actor on radio. So that's...
Really?
Oh, have you? And he can imitate things. Have you ever heard?
No. I've heard him imitate things because he was on Graham Norton.
I never
Oh,
think.
yeah.
And he did a couple.
Yeah. And so he could, that's why I said that's how he sort of was, a comic. And that's why when I see a movie like this, and believe me, he's really not that funny in this movie. Yet there are scenes where you sort of laugh at his reaction to things, because, like I said, the element of being just this hard-nosed type of character who challenges this young boy and yet becomes charmed and sort of surprised by this young boy
because he's
Amazing.
so brilliant.
Yeah.
The boy
He
is
seems
so brilliant.
offended by him, because it's like the kind of manhood that he's been taught to have.
No, he's
the kid. The kid seems to threaten that.
He's offended by the brother marrying her mother.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And so his mother. So the boy's mother. But that is where it's all coming from.
Yeah,
But I agree with Patty in a way, because the first time you see him interact is when he makes the remark about how the young boy had made the paper flowers on the table.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he starts going to the sissy jokes kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or like I said, mocking his manhood in a way. And I thought, okay, that's sort of interesting, until you realize, oh, there's a reason he's mocking his. Like I said, the subtlety starts coming out.
Yeah,
and again,
he
I give
needs
that
to
to the writer,
up the
and
macho,
director,
yeah.
Jane Campion.
Don't you think they presented they presented that movie the way they shows how they can make things look? It came off to me like, oh my God, this is going to be another Brokeback Mountain.
That's how they promoted it.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
they
that's the
promoted
thing.
it like
See,
that.
fortunately, I didn't even know what the movie was until you said, "Oh, we're going to do Power of the Dog." It's like, oh, I got to watch that. Okay. Then I thought, oh, but it's Jane Campion, because it's
But
like, oh, she
It took
does
me
these dramas.
Yeah, it took me a long time to understand.
She did the piano,
title,
right?
Power of the Dog.
Huh?
She did the piano.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the movie.
You notice she doesn't have a lot of dialogue, which I really like. It's all done by other things.
That's why I said. When you watch the piano, like George was saying,
Facial
things
expressions.
look like
Oh.
portraits in that movie.
Yes.
It's a period. The way it looks. But the subtlety, like I said, the subtlety of the drama, it's all there. It's powerful, So
So I think it's you,
Me?
right?
Yes. Okay. So I thought Pig. No.
Who directed that, George?
Actually, Belfast. I thought it kind of reminded me of Jojo Rabbit a little bit.
Yes,
I
very,
thought
very
like you
much so.
fighting the kids. So I thought that was great. I'm not a big fan of black and white films, and I thought he was going for his Roma moment.
Oh.
Roma Elway. But no, just keep it color. I like Drive My Car. I love Drive My Car. That was Drive My Car. The cinematography to me was as sad as the film.
yes,
The cinematography represented the sadness of it. And how can you carry a film for that long?
3 hours, folks.
3 hours and 5
With
minutes.
two almost depressed robots, which is the guy and his driver. And it's, well, at least to me, it kept my interest. What is the robot gonna feel now? So I enjoyed that one too. I actually like the West Side Story too. I love period pieces. I love that look of it. I love the feel of everything. But yeah, I think Power of the Dog. I think that's the one that that's the one there for me. Just the cinematography, the feel, the mystique, the which yeah. I like that.
Okay, I'm between Drive My Car, Belfast, and The Power of the Dog. And one more I would add that's not even in there, which is Guillermo del Toro for Nightmare Alley.
Oh,
Which I thought
yeah,
was-
they did that.
Yeah,
Didn't
that
they?
was- was good.
But those for me is I can't really pick. I could pick, but it really is almost not fair. You know what I mean? Because Belfast is very different. I would put Drive My Car and The Power of the Dog more together, right? And Belfast and Nightmare Alley more together. It's the way the how the movie, you're telling a story, right? Two of them are very, kind of lock you into this long journey, and it unravels very slowly. And these ones kind of happen fast. So even though the reason I'm going to pick Belfast is because I felt like Kenneth Branagh is not as I know him more as an actor, and I thought as an actor he did a really great job as a director in this, because these guys like Jane Campion and Guillermo del Toro, who's not in there anyways, and Rasuke Hamaguchi.
God, you got that right first time.
It's like these guys are like
Different league.
they're in a different league.
Yeah.
But I felt like Kenneth Branagh could go in that league if he wanted to. So I saw him as like the up and coming of these guys.
Did you
See, that's
what was
funny.
the
I
war
disagree
movie?
because I think Kenneth Branagh is in that league as a director.
He
You
did
know?
that
Yeah.
war movie I love, but I don't think you guys liked it.
Poirot.
What?
Is that Poirot movies?
No. He did that big.
Well, you know I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. I always think of him as a director now until I see Orient Express. That I think, oh, he's the other Perot, right?
Oh, I did not like that one.
No, he doesn't work
No,
for
got a new
me.
one.
He
He's got
doesn't
a new
work
one
for
too,
me
the
as
Nile or
Perot.
something.
Yeah.
He's too masculine. Perot was a very
Effeminate
Feminine.
person. Yeah.
yes. He was what they called
very
in those
French.
days a bachelor.
Yeah.
A confirmed bachelor.
Like Shakespeare, what's the most famous one? What's the most famous detective?
Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Sherlock
Yes.
Holmes comes off as the most masculine man compared to Pierre.
Oh, you gotta watch the
Well, yes.
watching.
Well, it's not that he's really good at it.
Yeah.
David, who is he?
Never know.
No, the guy who.
Who played him on TV?
He died from.
Yeah,
He died from the. I think he smoked too much. He's the best. He's the best Sherlock Holmes.
well, I don't know if
Okay,
he's
we're
the
gonna
best.
side-
Sherlock Holmes is
We're getting
Basil
sidetracked.
Rathbone.
We're getting sidetracked.
Basil
here.
Rathbone is Shakespeare. Is
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock
Oh,
Holmes.
I
Oh, we
thought you were
talking about
talking
Sherlock
about-
Holmes?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about Perrault.
No, Will Ferrell. No,
I'm talking about Perrault.
no, Poirot. Yeah.
Yeah. David.
Oh, David Suchet.
Yeah,
David
David
Suchet.
Suchet.
Yeah. I'm
He
sorry.
did a great job, and I think also Peter Houstonov was him. Also played a.
Yes,
he
he,
did.
was in the
and
Death on the Nile.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little more masculine than Peter Duché plays him,
Right.
right? So, but they still work where
Right.
Brenner does not work for
Yeah,
me.
I definitely agree with that.
No, he's
Peter
too manly.
Suchet
You're
was
right.
Definitely the best
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poirot I've seen.
So who do you like as best director?
I picked Brenner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
our
that
next
the
one-
one?
Well, it's not
Close
Brenner.
already?
Branagh.
Branagh.
Was that Kenneth Branagh? Is that it? We picked everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're now
Can we
moving
move
on
on?
to
We're gonna
best
stop.
picture.
How many minutes do we have?
No. it's-
Okay, he's gonna do.
Well,
it.
I can do.
Can you hold on one second?
Yeah.
I'll
We're
play
back.
And when? How long?
What are we on next?
Like 1 minute. Yes.
1 minute? Oh. I have to go.